right, welcome everybody to the Thursday evening ASEA Business Overview webinar. My name is Paul Taira, and for the next approximate 40 minutes, I'm going to be your host, taking you on a tour of ASEA. A little bit of background about myself is I started out in my professional career in the United States Marine Corps. I am a veteran of the first Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm. After that, I traded my M16 A2 service rifle in for a computer keyboard, and I became a nerd or a geek, however people lovingly referred to us as, and kind of ran up the flagpole in corporate America there, and ended up becoming a chief information officer for a startup.com company. And I rolled that roller coaster ride for a while, and when the bubble bursted, I decided to start my own consulting business. And back in 2001, I was consulting for a network marketing company, a startup network marketing company, and I became fascinated with their product. And I started sharing the product very similarly to how I started sharing ASEA just a few years ago. And as I shared it and I saw it change people's lives and help them to share it, I realized that this was the industry for me. It created me an incredible lifestyle. And allowed me to create my own hours, because I did pretty well financially there in information technology and, you know, six-figure type income, but I never really owned my life. I mean, I always had to show up to work at a specific time. I had to stay there until the work was done, which was at least 8, and it became 9, 10, 12 hours later, and get on the road and drive back and forth, a lot of times through traffic. And at some point, I kind of felt like I was a slave, and when someone presented me, and when I got my first opportunity, you know, to participate in this industry, I was thrilled, because again, I worked very, very hard, knowing what the reward was there at the end, and for about a year and a half, and was able to afford many years of an incredible lifestyle. So when I found ASEA, I saw something again so unique, a company with a product that truly was like no other in the world, a technology and a whole category creator type of a product with patents to protect it, and a product that we wouldn't see in the supermarkets or in a health food store or in other types of competitive channels, and that was being led by Fortune 500, even Fortune 50 caliber executives with high levels of integrity, ethics, and principles. I knew that this was where I was going to make my home, and this was the last organization I was going to build, and I'm so glad I did. Just a few short years, a little over 3, actually coming up almost on 4 now, because it was October of 2009. When I was first introduced, ASEA had less than 1,000 distributors in the entire company. Today it has over 100,000. In my organization, we have over 30,000 of the ASEA associates. So again, I feel incredibly blessed, and I am excited to sort of pay it forward and to help as many people achieve whatever level of success they desire. I don't know what you're looking or you know, what brought you here. If you're looking to make a few $100 extra a month, if you're looking to make a few $1,000 extra a month, if you're looking to make tens of thousands of dollars a month, I mean, those opportunities are all here at ASEA. They've all those levels have been achieved, so. Again, this isn't, you know, the risk factor isn't like it was, you know, in the very beginning. We've already proven that the product works and that the business model is effective, and created lots of success here. Okay, so let me go ahead and kind of share with you what you're going to see here over the next 40 minutes. A powerful revolutionary health discovery that may become known as the greatest transformational technology of our generation, and a true once-in-a-lifetime business opportunity that can generate you and a potentially unlimited residual income stream for you and your future generations. Because this business, by the way, when you start it and you build it, it is willable and transferable. Now, to start out here, the technology is based on Nobel Prize winning research. These gentlemen here back in 1998 won the Nobel Prize for discovering nitric oxide as a signaling molecule in the cardiovascular system. And that set the foundation for tons of research to start exploding over the last 12, 14 years. You'll see journals and universities dedicating entire areas of their campuses to the research of this field called redox signaling, and many books and papers published as well. Our science team has incredible stellar credentials, everything from our atomic medical physicist, Dr. Gary Samuelson, to MDs like Dr. Robertson Ward, Dr. Ron Norris, to our board-certified naturopathic doctor, Dr. David Carpenter. Again, all types of different modalities and health professionals in different disciplines have all validated the technology behind ASEA, and these gentlemen, and of course Bristol, Dr. Bristol, have contributed to its ongoing development. Outside institutions that have studied ASEA, like the North Carolina Research Campus, the David H. Murdoch Research Institute, this is a billion-dollar facility. David Murdoch actually put in $600 million of his own money to fund this, and it's right there at Appalachian State University, and the surrounding campuses from Duke University, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and big corporations like Dole and General Mills use these facilities to do research on their products. Now, what they found was some incredible results, not only on humans in double-blind, crossover-controlled placebo studies, but also on animals. And they see the performance differences incredibly significant and are absolutely blown away with the ASEA technology. Now, there's been lots of other studies done on ASEA. There's a few here on the screen, from VO2 max testing, which is done on elite high-performance athletes, glutathione and superoxide dismutase. These are your body's super antioxidants. Metabolites, which is one of the most current and recent advanced studies of how your cell utilizes certain elements in metabolism. Live blood cell microscopy, brain mapping, gas discharge visualization, and more. So again, to summarize, again, I'm not a scientist, and nor is that my desire, but I let those experts stay in that space. But here's the results business-wise, which is what I look at. Since the pre-launch in July of 2009, ASEA has sold over $100 million of product sales to date. $25 million in sales in 2011 alone, and it doubled in 2012 to $50 million. We project to do over $70 million this year alone. Now, what's really significant is that ASEA has an approximate 1% product return rate. Now, why that is so significant, there's a few reasons. First off, ASEA doesn't taste good initially to most people. Okay, I've heard it be described, and I kind of described it too when I first tasted it. It's kind of like drinking swimming pool water. Okay, but what happens is as you drink it, most people, after just 3 or 5 days, they'll see the taste becomes much more palatable. It starts to taste more and more like plain water. And the belief is as your body becomes more balanced, that's what causes that shift. ASEA also isn't a low-cost item. Okay, this is a little over $100 a month. People would not pay for something that didn't taste good. Okay, if it didn't work and generate results. And then finally, it has a 100% 30-day money-back guarantee. Okay, so 100% guarantee. Why is there only a 1% product return rate? It's because it's flat out works. And over 80% of the people who buy ASEA will order at least one more case throughout the year. So we know it has a great, strong reorder rate as well. Again, these are all powerful elements from a business perspective, and we'll talk more about the business in the last section here of the presentation. So why do you need to take ASEA? Notice it doesn't say why do you want to take ASEA, right? You really need to take ASEA for these following reasons. Our cells are being damaged every day. I mean, unless you never go outside, unless you never get injured or interact with people, and then again, that's going to have some psychological damages. You're going to probably be a little nuts. Okay, so we've got to live life, right? And we want to live life. Okay, but the reality is we're getting sunburned, we're exercising, we're breaking down and tearing muscle tissue. We may get injured, and then of course, the 80,000 man-made chemicals and toxins in everything from the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, and the water that we drink. These all have a toll on our cells. And as we age and when we get sick, we just don't have enough of these redox signaling molecules to handle this demand. When you're a baby, you come into this world producing these molecules at 100% efficiency, but by the time you're 70 years old, you're only at 10% efficiency. And this is why babies and small children, why they heal so fast if they get scraped or cut or any type of little injury, right? Or someone who's elderly, if they get a cut or scrape, they probably have a visible scar there for the rest of their remaining years. And also why small children can play on the playground for hours at a time, and the next day they don't feel all stiff and sore, right? They don't say, "Mom, I'm too sore to go out and play again today," right? They just jump out of bed, pop up, and they're shooting out the front door doing it all over again. Where of course, someone elderly, if they walk across a large parking lot, they're probably going to be stiff and sore the next day. Okay, so what are the results that you should expect? Well, I want you to prep yourself. That's our acronym. PrEP, the first P stands for prevent, and that means it's going to slow down the aging process to help keep you younger longer. So unless you want to age faster, you need to take ASEA. Okay, it's also going to repair. That's what the RE in the acronym of PrEP stands for. It's going to help your body to help heal itself. So let's say you are suffering from a health challenge or an injury or something of that nature. You want your body and your cells to help to provide them with these molecules so it can help your body heal itself at maximum efficiency. Now, we cannot claim that ASEA cures, treats, or prevents any specific illness or disease, but what we're saying is your body can do that. Your body can heal itself of pretty much almost anything if it has what it needs. So again, it's not ASEA making the claim, it's what your body's able to do when it has these crucial molecules. And then, of course, the last P in PrEP is perform. It's going to help you dramatically increase athletic performance. You know someone who's an athlete? Because I get people saying, well, Paul, I'm not sick and I'm not old yet. I need to take it. I go, well, again, it will increase, the faster you start getting on it, the longer the potential is to increase your life. But let's say you're an athlete. If you're an athlete, you're competing. You don't want to be that athlete that's not on ASEA, right? I mean, everyone's going to have to be on ASEA at some point. Otherwise, they're going to be at a competitive disadvantage because their cells aren't going to be repairing and healing and recovering and uptaking oxygen and doing all these other wonderful things as those athletes who are taking ASEA. Okay? So again, PrEP. ASEA is the world's first and only redox signaling supplement with over 20 registered global patents to protect it. And that's, again, for those of you here and that are interested in the business side of things, that hopefully that signals opportunity to you, right? We've got the only product in this revolutionary category creator type of situation no one else has in the world, and you've got the ability to be the first and currently only. All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the experiences that people have received. Road Bike Action Magazine put their entire bike racing team on ASEA, and they ended up writing an article entitled Super Water, ASEA Salt and Water Supercharger. And I'll tell you, they were actually prepared to write a negative article because what they said was, oh, all those juices and vitamins and stuff, they're, we think it's in people's minds. We never really see any noticeable differences. But when they got on ASEA, they wrote this great article. James Lawrence, he started taking ASEA and started seeing the incredible improvements in his performance and muscle recovery time that he decided to go after breaking a Guinness Book of World Records, the half Ironman triathlon. He broke that record, and then after he did that, he said, I'm going after the full Ironman record, and he just did that last year. The previous record was 20 Ironman triathlons in a single year. He did 30 of them, so he crushed it, the record, by 30%. For those of you who don't know what an Ironman triathlon is, they start out swimming, a 2.5-mile swim, usually through ocean current, okay, I think which would kill or drown most people. Then they get out of the water, they jump on a bike for over 100 miles and race that part of the race. And then they get off the bike and they run a full marathon, okay, over 26 miles on foot. All this is one race. Can you imagine doing 30 of those in a year? That is, that's just like almost every other week doing one of these where people train for an entire year just to do one and hail that as a huge accomplishment. Look what James says here. He says, ASEA helps him recover quickly so he can compete week in and week out. He's able to go faster for longer periods of time at a lower heart rate. It's simply incredible. He said ASEA is the foundation of his supplement line and makes everything else that he does better. And as you see on screen here, tons of other great product experiences. And I do have to make the disclaimer once again that we are not claiming ASEA is curing, treating, or preventing any specific illness or disease. Again, it's just empowering the cells in your body to help heal themselves. Okay, so of course a picture's worth 1,000 words. This lady here, her name's Phyllis. She went through a chemical treatment therapy process, if you will. Leave it at that. And it left her with some severe bruises all around her body. Well, she started drinking ASEA and spraying it all over her skin and all these bruises. And lo and behold, within a couple of weeks, this is the picture of her skin. Cleared them up. Now, she had those bruises for many months, and she had tried to put various creams and ointments and taken other things for it, and nothing cleared them up. And here's what her skin looks like now. Even the consistency of her skin, I think you can see, is much better. This is a picture a friend of mine sent me of his basil plant. He was on vacation for about a week, and this is what he was greeted to. So before he went to sleep that night, he sprayed ASEA on this plant, and look at what he woke up to the next morning. When he sent me this picture, I said, "Come on, Larry, is this did you swap the plant out? Is this really the same plant?" And he said, "Come on, Paul." He goes, "Look, if you look closely, you'll see some of the brown spots on the edges there. Yes, it's absolutely the same plant, and I'm totally blown away. I'm even more over the top of an ASEA believer. This stuff is absolutely amazing." Okay, so transformational breakthroughs bring massive opportunity. I'm going to shift into the last portion of the presentation here and talk about this incredible opportunity that ASEA brings. But first, I want to identify if this opportunity is right for you. Okay, I mean, if you're doing really well right now and you're happy with with where you're at, what you're doing, you've got a lot of free time on your hands, etc. Then a new business might not be what you're looking for, but then I would look at you just as a customer, right? You got all the financial resources you need, and you're enjoying life. Well, you need to take the product so that you can live longer and enjoy longer, and of course be healthier while you're enjoying. But the 4 questions I'm going to ask everyone here that are potentially looking at starting a business with ASEA. First off, do you like what you do for a living? Okay, very important. The majority of people that when I ask this, they'll either respond, "Yeah, that's all right," or they'll say, "No, I hate what I do." Okay, I just find that's to be the responses when I talk to people. Next question I say is, well, they must pay you a lot of money then to do that. And so basically, their response is no, that they're not earning enough income, and that they would love to be able to have more income. Okay, do you know anyone like this? Then my next question is, do you have as much free time that you want to spend with your loved ones and do the fun things that you love to do? It really saddens me to hear people say, "Paul, I haven't been able to play golf in like 10 years. I'm just so jammed up at work, and now the way the economy is, I've got to work overtime, and when I'm at home, I just want to go to sleep." Various responses like that. So again, I'm just finding out if what people are doing is really working for them. And then finally, I ask them, well, do you know when you're going to be able to retire? When you can be able to just relax and not have to have all that stress and have to have all these excessive hours and be able to enjoy life while you're still young. Okay? I'm going to tell you, most people do not know the date when they're going to retire. As a matter of fact, a lot of people, kind of scaringly, they say, I don't know if I'll ever be able to retire. I think I'll be working till I'm in the dirt. So I'm like, that's not good. And what we find is that it's fairly accurate. 95 people out of 100 at age 65 are either dead, no longer with us, or they're dead broke, meaning that they have to continue to work to make ends meet. Have you ever driven through a fast food restaurant and seen someone with a paper hat that looks elderly asking you if you want fries with your order? Doesn't that break your heart? I mean, it really broke my heart. And again, about 13, 14 years ago when I went in this industry full time, that was one of my motivating things, because someone pointed that out to me. I said, you know what? Go to this little fast food place, and I saw that, and I'm like, yep, I totally have seen that before. Okay? So if someone does give you a date, let's say, oh yeah, I'll be able to retire when I'm 50 or when I'm 60. I ask them, well, would you like it to be sooner? You really, I mean, totally digging your life right now. You can do this day in and day out for another 20 years, 15, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. So what do you think the answers are to these? If they answer no to any one of these questions, or I guess I'm really directing it toward everyone on this webinar, if you are answering no to any one of these questions, okay, you have a great potential for starting an ASEA business, okay? And I'm going to share with you why our business model is so powerful. But first, a quote from Albert Einstein. He said that we can't solve our problems with the same thinking that we used when we created them. And it always baffles me how people will continue to do what they're doing and yet expect different results. I'm here to share a big news flash with you. If you continue to do what you're doing right now, you're going to continue to get what you're getting. I know some of you are laughing, but I really want everyone to think of that really deeply. Because what you've been doing, how long have you been doing it for? A year? 5 years? 10 years? 20 years? Well, you've been doing it, and how long have you been complaining about how you're not getting what you want out of life, how you don't have enough income, how you don't live in the house that you want to live in, how you don't have the car that you want to drive, how you aren't able to spend enough time with your children. If you continue to do what you're doing, that's going to continue to happen. So again, I'm going to encourage you to open your mind. The mind is just like a parachute. It only works when it's open. And just wipe the slate clean and listen to this information, because it changed my life, and it's changed the lives of millions of people in our industry. Okay? And again, a lot of them here at ASEA. Now, this is the traditional way of thinking. Go to school, get a diploma, right, from high school. Then you go to college, you get a degree. Then you look for a biggest company you can, and you work for them for 30 or 40 years. You retire, you ride off into the sunset, you get a gold watch, and you never have to work again, right? Well, I already shared with you that that's just not true, okay? And you can look at statistics anywhere, and you'll see the 95 people out of 100 at age 65 statistic that I shared with you earlier. This is the model that most people are working. They decide to become an employee and go work at a company. And then the next thing they shoot for is to become a manager. And usually after a number of years, they may, and if they're good, they may be able to make it to management, right? Then, hopefully, over decades, they become an executive, a vice president or whatnot, okay? But only one person at that company becomes the CEO. Think about that. Only one person at your company becomes the CEO. Excuse me. This is what I call a pyramid scheme, okay? I'm going to share with you, because it's kind of funny, because I've heard other people refer to our business model as a pyramid scheme, but this truly, to me, is a pyramid scheme. You're not going to be the CEO. Chances of you being the CEO are no, okay, unless you retires or passes away, or you marry the daughter of one of the investors or something. So this is what we call the 40-40-40 plan. You work 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life to get 40% of the income coming in every month when you retire. And again, like I said, not even that happens. And that's pretty much the best case scenario in this type of a model. Now, home business, let's change this around. You actually start as the CEO, okay? You go out and you look for other people who want to be the CEO, other people who are open-minded, who are willing to learn, and who don't want to follow the path of the rest of the sheep and end up with the same troubles and the same financial woes and challenges. You go out, find good, high-quality people like that, people that will take action, and they go out and find the same thing, and now we're dealing with everyone being their own boss, everyone controlling their own destiny, with a ceiling, with rather no ceiling over their head on what their potential is to earn. This is a 3 to 5 year plan when you do it like this, not a 40-year plus plan. Okay, so it provides you with the ability to compress time. Now, I'm going to share with you the way that income is generated. Okay, it's generated through one of four ways, either with your own money, where you can leverage that and invest in things, other people's money, your efforts, or other people's efforts. Okay, that's how all income is generated. So if you're unemployed, okay, you're getting money from other people's efforts, right? People that are paying the unemployment tax. Okay, what if you're an employee? Well, your income is derived from your own efforts. You're trading your time for money. Right? If you're an employee with a 401k, you're putting in your own efforts as an employee, but you're also contributing a little bit of your own money, and other people are putting money into that fund, okay, to have it go to work for them. So now you've got your money and other people's money as well. What if you're a manager? You have your own efforts, right, okay, which are going to be even greater than when you were just an employee, because now you're responsible for other people. And then you may be getting some overrides on the efforts of other people that you're maybe responsible for. Okay? What if you're an investor here, like our friend Warren Buffett, right? Not very many people in this situation. I know I wasn't, okay? But in his situation, he's got all this money, so he invests his money, and of course a lot of other people put in lots of money, and then other people's efforts, the people that are working at the companies that they're investing in, right? How about if you're a CEO here, like our friend Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook? Okay, Mark put in a little bit of his own money, right? Did that IPO. A lot of other people's money, mine included, unfortunately. Actually, I think it's come back to level at least. But also other people's efforts and a significant amount of his own efforts as well. Okay. So how does network marketing differ? Okay, well, initially you're putting in a little bit of your own money. Okay, we're not talking about like a traditional business where you're probably going to spend over $100,000 to get that started, like a sandwich shop or a, some sort of retail type business, brick and mortar type business. Okay, none of that, right? Less than $1,000, you can start your business here with ASEA. Okay, you're going to put in a lot of effort in the beginning, just like you would if starting any other business, right? Just learning curve, a lot of work, talking to a lot of people, making contact. Now, while you're doing this process, you're going to find some people who also want to start their own business, be their own boss, and own their own life. Okay, they're going to put their own money in, and they're going to start putting their own efforts in as well. Okay, but watch what happens over time. Okay, over time, as you're enrolling more and more associates, and then they're putting, and that subsequently putting in more and more efforts. Okay, your efforts can start to decline. In other words, you don't have to put as much effort in. Okay, you're out there teaching others and teaching others to duplicate and duplicate. So it's not really, your focus now is not like keep continuing to look for more and more constant sign up. You're developing, building others. Okay, and you will continue to find people. Okay, but again, you'll see it's a lot less effort as time goes on. And if you build it properly and work really hard in the beginning, then you will reap what you sow. And later down the road, you'll see, again, almost none of your money. Very little efforts is what the net result is, but lots of money coming from other people's money and other people's efforts. This is the concept of leverage, and this is how wealth is generated. So which side is the wealth side, right? It's what I just shared with other people's money, other people's efforts, when you leverage that. But which side is the tax side? Okay, who pays the most taxes? A lot of people think it's the right side, but they would be highly mistaken. The employees pay the most tax. All right. So isn't that amazing? You're making the least amount of money. You're having to work the most amount of hours, and yet you're paying the most amount of tax. So where do you spend most of your efforts today? That's the question. And I'm going to venture to say majority of people are on the left side. So our goal here, as we are in our final stretch here, is to kind of share with you how our business model gets you from the left to the right. So our business model, known as referral marketing, person-to-person marketing, network marketing, okay, has created more millionaires than any other industry over the last 20 years, over 200,000 millionaires alone since the mid-90s. This economist here, Paul Zane Pilzer, he's world-renowned. He was the economist for Ronald Reagan and the first President George Bush. he wrote a lot of things that have come to fruition. A lot of his projections in futuring have come to fruition. Here's a couple of his books: The Next Millionaires and The Wellness Revolution. He says that in the next years to come, the most millionaires will come from direct sales, home businesses, and the health and wellness industry. Wow. What space are we in? All of that, okay? Another extremely highly successful person, Bill Gates, said if he would be given a chance to start all over again, he would choose network marketing, okay? And the additional information was, again, if he didn't have any, a lot of resource capital to start with. Again, and that being the case, again, that's why we call our model the average person's best chance. If you weren't born with $100 million in your bank account, almost everyone can save up and generate, almost $1,000 to start their own business. This is the most efficient business model. Robert Kiyosaki also agrees. He wrote a book called Business of the 21st Century, which speaks specifically about our industry and how efficient it is. He says the richest people in the world look for and build networks, and everyone else looks for work. And of course, the guy having the great hair day, the Donald, on David Letterman said, what would you do if you lost everything and had to start all over again from scratch? Without hesitation, he said, I would find a good network marketing company and get to work. So the audience started shouting, booing, some were laughing. And Donald Trump said, well, that's why I'm sitting up here, and you are all sitting out there. Very powerful. Okay? Very powerful. Like I said before, the masses will continue to just do what they do. It's the definition of insanity. I don't know how they can expect things to change or become better, but they do. They just kind of like a flock of sheep. In order for you to get away from that mentality and to create success, you've got to start thinking like people who create success. Now, ASEA is led by Fortune 500 leadership, like I mentioned earlier. Our founders have stellar credentials, nothing but success in their track record. A small company to our founder there, Vertus Norton, does $500 million in annual sales. He's re-engineered companies in excess of $30 billion. He was a strategist for Kraft Foods, a $36 billion corporation. So again, we have nothing but the best in leadership. Jim Pack, our co-founder, retired at age 43. He was in the telecommunications industry. He was a lobbyist in Washington, very well connected in those spaces. And he was the one who wrote the first check for investment into ASEA. Just stellar credentials of our leadership team. Matter of fact, our entire leadership team, most of them come from billion-dollar companies. Some of them, if you look at Chuck Funky here, was the former chairman, president, and CEO of Beneficial Investment Services. That is about a 120-year-old financial services institution, very prestigious. Bruce Call here is the current mayor of Pleasant Grove, Utah. We have most of our other executives come from billion-dollar or multi-billion-dollar corporations and with incredible pedigrees. Now, ASEA is in 15 countries around the world. We are getting ready to open up our next market, as a matter of fact, next week in Denmark. So I don't know if any of you have connections over there, but very exciting news, and we'll be able to enroll associates in that part of the world. But as you can see, all these countries, and I've been to quite a few of them now, which again, it's another great benefit of having an ASEA business. You can travel all over and write this off as a tax deduction because you're building your business, and they're going to be continue to expand globally. We haven't even reached out yet to continents like Australia or Africa or the Far East and Asia. So again, the opportunity, even the Latin American market. So the opportunity is tremendous right now. They also, ASEA is going to provide you with some great support tools from different websites that help you manage and run your business. They've got tools and printed literature, DVDs, CDs, apparel, banners for events. You name it, there's a support tool to go to work to help you grow your business. And then we have created a duplication system that is simple, duplicable, and global, and it's called the 3-Minute Peak System. And it's a phenomenal process which allows you, leveraging technology, to send someone a 3-minute video clip, and then if they want more information, they can watch a subsequent 12-minute video clip with a little bit more in-depth info, and they can request more information, get questions, and all these things are just tools you can send them to let the system do the work for you to create an automated, duplicable process. So again, it's a very, very powerful platform. There are so many features of it. There's different landing pages you can send people to, like this one you're seeing on screen. Also, pages that are specific to different markets and industries, like athletes. You can send someone to a web page that looks like this, that is linked to you. Also, for science and medical professionals, if you're going to target those types of audiences, you can send them to a page that's specific to information that they want to see. So lots of great resources for you. There's a complete training environment too. There's 10 different modules, and maybe it may take you all of 3 or 4 hours if you wanted to go from start to finish, which will teach you everything about the skill sets, the mindset, the will set, how you become a successful entrepreneur and grow a successful ASEA business using this platform. And you can track all of your activities and see any types of activities that your prospects and even other teammates that you form a partnership with, kind of like how Facebook has friends. You can actually make connections to other teammates and help each other grow their business as you're building. Okay, again, when we help you, ask the person who invited you on this webinar how you can get their 3-minute peek website address to get started with that. Now, the duplication model is this. Our first goal is to get your product for free each month, and all it takes is you enrolling 4 people and getting them on auto ship. And as long as they're on auto ship each month, your product is free. Next, we want to show you how to generate some additional income, maybe $350 to $500 a month, residually every month. And then finally, show you how to get to $750 to $1,000 a month. And your goal after that is just helping a bunch of people do the same, and you can see your income grow exponentially. Okay? So let's start out with our associate here, Dan. Okay? So he gets started, and he goes out, and he's excited, and he finds his first associate, Tina. She gets started, right? Then he finds a friend, Matt, who gets started, gets on auto ship, and Debbie, as well as Teresa. They all get started, get on auto ship. Well, Matt completed his level 1 bonus for our AAA bonus part of our program, and he'll every month get $100 deposited into his account. Okay, pretty neat, huh? Now, there's other commissions that he'll earn on this too. I mean, there's a potential for him earning on as well, and so he could easily be making $120 minimum every single month just by having 4 people. Now, let's say Tina over here goes out. Okay, and let's say Tina goes out and finds her 4 people, okay? And let's say Debbie does the same thing. As long as any 2 of Dan's 4 people that he brought in do the same thing, okay, they're going to each get their own $100 each month. But Matt is now going to get the level 2 bonus, which is $250 more a month. So in addition to having now his product basically for free each month, he's going to get an additional $250. That's a total of $350 every single month minimum. Now again, with the other commissions, he's probably looking at more like $400 to $500 every single month. Okay, how many people do you know who could use an extra $400 to $500 a month? Isn't this doable? Right? Use a great product, live younger longer, help your body prevent itself from getting sick or ill, or if it is sick or ill, help give it the best chance to help healing itself. And of course, if you're an athlete, help you maximize your athletic performance. Right? Go out and find 4 people that will do the same thing, promote the same thing, and boom, next thing you know, you could be generating $350 to $500 a month. Now, if you just help those people do it one more time, so these 4 people here on this second level, any 4, okay, as long as there's 2 here, 2 under there, if you have a total there of these 4, 8, 16 people, you now qualify for the $400 level 3 or L3 bonus. That means every single month, the minimum amount of money you're going to get deposited into your account is $750. but more likely it'll be 900 to 1,000, maybe even beyond. Okay, because this probably won't happen in a perfect manner. There may be a lot more people. Maybe someone gets 5, 6, 7, etc. Okay, but just 2 out of the 5 or 6, whatever, did it. So again, there may be lots more volume, and you'll be earning commissions from other parts of the ASEA's compensation plan as well. And there's much more. Like I mentioned, that's just the AAA bonus. We've got all these other commission mechanisms that provide everything from fast, immediate profits. Whenever you enroll someone, you get an immediate additional commission, to residual income and true wealth building. All the commissions are paid weekly, with the exception of that monthly AAA bonus that I mentioned, because they have to wait for the entire month to see if you met the qualification. Okay, everything else is paid weekly. So the timing. You really want to get positioned now to take advantage of time compression. You see, the last 30 years has been all about vitamins and minerals, antioxidants. Can you believe they put the word antioxidant under Cherry 7-Up? I mean, that'll show you how much of a buzzword that's become. And of course, exotic berry and fruit juices come from different parts of the rainforest. Okay, these are all, there's tons of products like this are in the health food stores, supermarkets now even. It's a very saturated market. Where you want to be is the next wave, and because over the next 30 years, it's going to be about redox signaling molecules. And you don't want to be at the end of the last wave. Again, you want to be at the beginning of the next wave, especially with a product and a technology that not only is the first to market, but is currently the only and is patent protected. And ASEA addresses $2 trillion markets, which is the health and wellness market. We talked about anti-aging for health-conscious people, health-challenged people, and people who just want to prevent things from happening, right, health-wise. To the sports and athletics market demographic, and this is going to, again, enhance performance, endurance, recovery, and repair. Each one of these industries markets are potential trillion-dollar markets. So let's take a look at where ASEA is. ASEA went through the first year, first year and through its foundation phase when they were sort of getting all the materials together, of writing all the documentation on the product, determining the distribution model. But once it decided on network marketing and started taking application, it entered its concentration phase. Okay, and this was back in 2009, and we're still in this phase. The next phase will be called momentum, and that's when the company goes from small to big in a short period of time. And then after that, there's a phase called stability. Big companies like the Amways, the Herbalifes, USANAs, etc., kind of can get into this comfort sort of mode. But then they can actually go up again. There's companies out there like Nu Skin, for example, who constantly reinvents themselves, as ASEA will, and they'll introduce new products, they'll open up new markets, and then the company can have this kind of a growth rate as well. Now, this point right here, just before the company goes from small to big, is what's called critical mass. And ideally, you want to be positioned either 10 months, at least 10 months within this window, or 10 months into the momentum phase. Because that's when you have the potential to earn the most amount of income, okay, in the shortest period of time. Most amount of income in the shortest period of time. And again, if you're wondering where ASEA is, well, ASEA is right about here. So the sweet spot you are in right now before ASEA goes from small to big. Typically, when the big companies, the billion-dollar plus companies did this, they were at around $100 million in annual sales. Again, our projections here is to be over $70 million this year, so the timing couldn't be better. And here, if you look at our performance history, going all the way back to July of 2009 when the doors were open, to when the company was profitable less than a year later, all the way to our official launch. And again, as you can see, the growth pattern increasing and increasing all the way up to our convention last September in Orlando, Florida. Every month, ASEA has been profitable since April of 2010, and the positive cash flows are being reinvested back into the business to pursue and support growth, and ASEA is debt-free. And if you want to see what the sort of rapid growth phase looks like, on a bar chart here, again, here we are in 2000, or here was 2012, here we are in 2013. Look at the rate of growth over the next few years here. Again, that's why being positioned now is so optimal. Okay, in closing, Michael Jordan said he could accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but he cannot accept not trying. And the great one, Wayne Gretzky, for you hockey fans out there, said, you miss 100% of the shots that you never take. So at this point, you have a decision to make. One, you can do nothing, right? Your life will continue just as it is right now. You'll continue to go to your job and do whatever you're currently doing, and you'll continue to earn whatever you're continually earning. So if you're happy with that, fantastic. Second, you become a customer, okay? So if you do decide to continue doing what you're doing, well, you should at least become a customer and try ASEA. Remember, it has a 100% 30-day money-back guarantee. So there's really no financial risk to you. The only thing you have to risk is feeling better, living longer, and being at your optimal athletic performance if you're an athlete. Third, you can become an associate. You can not only benefit from ASEA for yourself, but again, you can help others with this amazing technology, and you can also help others to benefit from the financial rewards of ASEA as well. And I'd like to just share this final little historical moment with you. The gentleman on the left, his name is Steve Jobs. You may recognize him. He was he is the late Steve Jobs now, and he was the co-founder of Apple Computing. And when Steve was about 28 years old, Apple was about 4 years old, and he realized that people weren't taking him seriously because he was so young, and he needed to get a high-powered corporate executive to be the CEO of Apple. And he reached out to this guy named John Sculley, who was the president at the time of Pepsi-Cola. Okay, we're talking a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar, whatever corporation. John arrived with his chest puffed out, thinking, why would I even consider taking a position here? Okay, and he said, man, this company is only 4 years old. It was started in a garage. I have a cushy executive job at a Fortune, 500 company. Why would I think about leaving? And this is what Steve said to John. He said, do you want to sell sugared water for the rest of your life? Or do you want to come with me and change the world? At that point, John gulped. And he said he didn't want to wonder what he would have missed. So he ended up leaving Pepsi-Cola to become the CEO. And, of course, a decision that he is obviously ended up making him highly ecstatic about. So my question here, in leaving you this evening, is in a few years from now, if you decide not to take advantage of the business opportunity potential with ASEA, are you going to wonder what you would have missed when you see now redox signaling everywhere, just like you see antioxidants everywhere? And you see people that have created massive success with the business model that we're able to get in our early stages of growth that we're in right now? Are you going to wonder and say, man, what if I would have enrolled? What if I would have went to work? Where would I be at today? Are you going to be one of those folks? Or are you going to be one of those who come with us and change the world? And I truly hope you're one of the latter, and that you do decide to not only benefit from ASEA rather for yourself, but that you do end up wanting to go out and help us change the world one cell at a time. And if so, I encourage you to get back with the person who invited you to be on this webinar and ask them how you can get started with us today. I want to thank everyone for your time and attention this evening. Hope you have a fantastic evening and a fantastic week, and have a great weekend coming up here. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you later. Good night.